I'm not allowed to sing songs at the beginning of this show, or I'll get a copyright infringement. And this is my own original song that I'm singing boop, 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 at the beginning of the show. It's the beginning of the show. It's the beginning of the show. And the people that don't like when I make weird noises at the beginning are gonna be super mad today. Oh, no, 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 yes, 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 it's the beginning, it's the beginning of the show, of the show, of the show, of the show. Is this even working? We gotta double check if it's working. We gotta double check. Where's my buttons? There we go. There's my buttons. What's up, everybody? How you doing? But I gotta find the other buttons. There's the loading button. Scene 1. Scene 1 is so fresh. There we go. Yeah. What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Happy Monday to all you crazy, crazy aquarium fans. Where you guys into fishes? What are you up to? You into fish? You into plants? What are you doing? It's one of our main focuses of the show here today. Also, sometimes we have to deal with the outrage of the world because we're weird. And we make paintings of ourselves and put them in the background of shows. I wanted to put that up in the background because I'm going to be sending that off pretty soon. So I wanted to stick that up there so it's a little bit, it's me picking my nose in a painting. Yep. So good to be back on a Monday. You know, we got a little bit of a whirlwind tour this weekend. We had to go out all the way out to Eastern Washington to go visit the family and take care of some biz. We had to take care of some of the old business while we were out there. You know what I'm saying? Give them the business. Slip them a little jab. Give them the old business. But we were able to venture all the way over the mountains and back, so that was pretty good. And happy to say that we made it all in one piece. Olivia Bear down there. Oh, where's my arrow? I need my arrow. Oh, no! The arrow, you guys, is in a complete cattywampus position. We have to relocate this arrow. We can't deal with this nonsense. We can make it opaque. That's not helpful. We need layout. There we go. Oh, let's give it an old spin. We'll give it the old spinaroo here. There we go. Now we got our arrow working for us. Bah! That little baby boop down there in the corner, she did pretty well, I have to admit. She wasn't too feisty, throughout the whole trek, but she does get, she definitely gets the ants in her pants when we're road tripping, you know what I mean? It's like, hey guys, I'm just in the back of the car and stuff's just like kind of flying by out the window and I'm going to start crying. So, but she did pretty good and we had some fun out there in the sun, and luckily the sun followed us back across the mountains, came all the way to the other side of the mountains over here on the west. And it's hot. It's hot. It's a hot one out there today and sunny. So I'm down here being weird in the basement, messing around in the studio, building computers and working in the shop. I'm happy to say I got all of my water changes done today, which is kind of a new thing to be able to get all of the water changes done in a day. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's pretty good to be able to get the water changes done and get those handled and whatnot. Excuse me. One of the new features here on the channel, if you guys haven't picked up on it, because you might not be on the Patreon, and you might not be a member on the old YouTube, but if you're a Patreon supporter or a member of the YouTube community, you guys will know that there is a new Discord chat, which actually I have open over there right now, and we're going to see how well the Discord is helping us out as time moves on. We've got I don't know, 55 people in there so far, just off of the last couple of days. So hopefully we're going to get a couple more of the Patreon people and some of the members and stuff coming along to join up on the community over there. I did announce on the Discord chat that we will be, I'll be upping the, be doing the old boost on that server if we get over 100 members. So shout out to everybody over there. Good to see you. And I'm pretty sure at this point, if somebody was to, you know, one of the features of the Discord is that you would be able to, and we're gonna try this out live. We're gonna try to do this live. We're gonna see how well this works. We're gonna go add source. We're gonna go screen capture. We're going to go smart selection, and we are going to capture this image right here. Buzzow. And then I got to go like over here to this, and then exclusive window capture. I have to turn that off, right? Yes, there we go. So we have a picture here of Vince Grippa. He posted up a picture of one of his tanks into the Discord over there. Actually kind of just grabbing it from the Discord right now, although I will be downloading and doing better versions of this. So one of the things I'm going to do is we're going to do some videos checking out some of the people's tanks and stuff like that, which should be a pretty fun video. That'll be an edited video that'll be coming out later, because we're going to have a little we'll hopefully have a collaborator on that, which sounds like they're on board. So should be fun. And but that gives you kind of guys kind of a good example of I'm able to you know, grab images and stuff like that off of there a lot easier than on the Patreon. Plus, we can chat about stuff when I'm actually like online. We can actually just chat real time back and forth and stuff like that, just like as if I was chatting into the real time chat, like you guys are on the real time chat right now, chatting with each other and doing that kind of stuff. And to tie into Vincent's tank here, oh no, I got the wrong link. Hold on. I thought I had the correct link. Hold on. I have to go back over here, and I got to go copy. Let's see. Pull that back up, and then I have to open this back up. There. Okay. So we actually got, let me see. I'll post my link right here. Boosh. Okay, so to tie in a little bit with Vince's tank here, one of my favorite plants is featured in this aquarium right here, the Cryptocorini Wendetii. Is one of my favorite all-time tanks, tank plants, an aquatic plant. There's so many different varieties of it. There's metallic ones, there's red ones, there's a whole bunch of different types of Wendetii, and obviously the Cryptocorini Wendetii. There's the green ones, there's the red ones, there's a whole bunch of different kinds, and there's a lot of them. And this is a sponsored link right here that you can actually just, if you click on that link in the chat, it'll take you over to Aquarium Co-op, which is our affiliate sponsor. So if you guys do buy a bunch of stuff from there, hey, it does give us credit, so full disclosure. But Cryptocorini Wendetii is 100% one of my favorite plants of all time, especially because we're able to fill so much space with what I would consider to be that minimal amount of effort. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a plant that you really have to go crazy and baby it and do all that kind of stuff. I wouldn't say that it's 100% a weed. Like, it's not going to just be invasive and kind of take over or anything like that. But it definitely is something that does such a good job of filling in. Because it does send out little runners and little plantlets and whatnot, and fertilizing it is really easy. Lighting for it is quite easy, and it is just realistically one of those. And I'm going to try something else. I'm going to. Oh, here we go. I want to go open original. I'm going to try something else here. Whoa. And then I'm going to go save image as, and then I want to save it to this PC. Okay. I'm going to make sure I save it to the right spot. And then I want to show in folders. Make sure I have the right one. This PC. Okay. I'll close that, and then I got to reopen the windows again. Whoa! Hey now. Okay. Where did my chat go? I lost my chat. All this clicking around just makes all the stuff go. So we're going to try one more thing. I'm going to add source, and we're going to go to media files here. Uh-oh. Okay, hold on. Okay, where was that? I got to find the directory. It's in old local. Oh, it's in the fonts file. Whoops. I'm going old school, you guys. I'm going all the way into the fonts file. PNG files. There it is. Okay, we'll open that. And let's see how big that is. Ooh, that actually shows up better. Look at that. That does such a better job than the well, why are we grabbing the camera now? Oh, welcome to my life, guys. There we go. So let's grab this little buster and we'll stick them up there. Oh, that resolution looks a lot better. That looks more like the image that I got over here on my end. But there we go. And that seems to work. We can actually do that live, guys. I don't think that was the most, whoops. I don't think that was like the most crazy professional thing in the world I just did there, but I'm pretty happy with that. I'm pretty happy with how well that worked out because, it's, people can kind of hear me muttering under my breath and they realize that like I'm actually doing something for like 30 seconds. So it's, generally like not that big of a deal, right? So yeah, it seems to work. We're able to maybe actually real time get something from the Discord in here, and I wanted to try that live because it's super easy to do that kind of stuff. It's super easy to do that kind of stuff when when you're not live, but it seems like everything goes totally crazy when you try to do things live and then it gets broken. But I wanted to try that live and see if that would actually work. And we might actually be able to do that just live here and there if we ever need to. Like if somebody's like, oh man, let me post a picture up onto the Discord and you could check it out ahead of time. The problem is if I try to do that with Patreon, it's not as fast and responsive as Discord is. So we'll see how this goes. Might be something that makes it just a little more interactive during the show. Or maybe it'll just be a big cumbersome thing that will drive people crazy because everybody will be on there, talking about whatever thing's making them mad that day. But I did want to highlight the Cryptocorini Wendellii is definitely one of my favorite plants. It's the first plant that is pretty much my knee-jerk first plant that I recommend to somebody that's starting out, somebody that wants to get into a planted aquarium. It is, it's pretty much the main go-to. It's pretty much the main go-to if you want to get something and you want to get your planted aquarium going. And you guys, I think people that have been following along the channel here for a long time know that like the 240, I have a vast area of the 240 that's just full of different types of crypts and stuff. And, to those of you that have been wondering like why you haven't seen very much of the 240 gallon, I'm pretty much in not necessarily demolition mode on that tank, but I'm definitely going to be doing a whole bunch of different stuff with it coming up soon. So there will be like a big project video at some point in time that will be coming out. Who knows when that will be? I wish I could like sit here and be like, that's coming out at September 12th or August 9. But I honestly don't know when that's going to happen. I've got some pretty big projects right now ongoing that are just sort of open-ended, and when those finish, then I'm going to be able to do more as far as YouTube stuff goes. But, you guys know I love doing the live show, coming on here to answer questions and stuff like that. The water boxes here says, the easy plant, give it light, CO2, and nutrients, and you have a large, huge bush in a month, which I like that. It's always good to have a good little bit of humor about the large bush. Right? I think that's always pretty good. Ricardo Santiago is here saying, what's up? Good to see you. Let's see what we got in the chat here. UG Aquatics, you can post the crypt I posted in there if you want. Would be interested in seeing how many people know of this plant or what it is. One of the rarest plants in the hobby anywhere in the world. Oh yeah, he's got that pink Nurii, which, you know, I'm always kind of like on the fence about saying whether or not a plant is super rare or not rare or whatever. Because I always feel like every single time I've said like, oh, that's a super rare plant, you come to find out that, we come to find out like 3 or 4 months later, it's like, oh yeah, people have been growing it like crazy, and all of a sudden it's the one that's on the, it's everyone's got it and it's sold everywhere. So, I'm not trying to say that you're wrong. What I'm trying to say is I'm always reticent to be like, because Bucafe Alandra, however you want to say it, it was like touted as this is so rare. It's so rare. And then, we come to find out that it actually it is pretty easy to grow. It is slow growing. It does take time, but it is fairly easy to grow, especially if you're growing it if you're growing it emerged out of the water. And then come to find out, like, there's a lot of places where it can be harvested from, and now, some of the big names out there are really upset as to where they're harvesting it from. So, it's almost one of those weird catch-22s where it's like, you're kind of damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. But I think I'm just in my personal space, I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I want to categorize things as rare. But it definitely is more difficult to find in the hobby right now. UG says, not that one, the Poseidon Nurii, which I hate to say, I might be drawing a blank on that one right now, but I forget, maybe you posted it in there. Yeah, post it into the Discord. You can just put it into the general. There's a bunch of different channels on the Discord if people don't know what the Discord is. It's basically live chat, but with the ability to be able to share links and pictures and stuff like that. And it's a feed, it's a feed that can keep going. Plus people can direct message each other, a bunch of stuff like that. It's basically just a kind of a different social network that I find to be... I find it to be a lot more constructive nowadays than most of the other social networking areas, mainly because you kind of refine the outside talk. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so right now we have the general chat, which is kind of people just saying hi, seeing what's going on, news of the day, all that kind of stuff. We have a news and politics. We have art and subjects. We have video creation, future. We have live stream. We have a memes channel, which I think will probably start to go bonkers here in a little while. Tank review and project corner. Those are the main channels that we have right now. And it's kind of one of those things. It's sort of just a selective space, that allows, let me see. What do we got here? Oh, there we go. UG Aquatics just posted that up. Okay, so how did I do this before? I went open original. I'm actually going to get faster at this, right? Let's see. So copy image. No, not copy image. I want to... Sorry, wrong button. I want to go save so that I can save it there. Then I can close that. Then I can go back to opening our chat and the monitor screen. Okay, so let me go... I'm going to remove that. Then we got this one right here. Okay, so I don't have any names on these, so that's what's going to be kind of problematic. But then we go add source, media file. Oh, look at that. It's all set to go. And then we can go open this. Boom! Goes the dynamite. Okay, here we go. So we got UG Aquatics. Yeah, and we'll make it real big. How about that? There we go. And I wonder if there's a way to rotate image. Oh, there is. You can go layout, and then I can go rotate. Oh, look at that. There, now we got landscape action. That looks good. Okay, there we go. We had that vertical. We had to take the vertical away, you guys. We had to go landscape because now it fits good. Look at that. Fits right in your screen, folks. So look at that. We had some real-time exchange where I actually got to look at the image before I could actually capture it, bring it down, put it up, and then put it up onto the live show. So that's actually pretty cool. So that is the Poseidon Nurii Cryptocorini. So let's see. So it'd be Cryptocorini variety Nurii Poseidon, or would the Poseidon come before the Nurii? I think it would be Nurii Poseidon, right? Which I do have to admit, I remember seeing this now. I think we were on the road when I saw this picture, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I had to do something else. But legit, this is a crypt that I would buy, honestly. I probably would buy this crypt just to be able to see, you know, get it shipped, see what happens, see if I can convert it. My last big plant order was from Travis Gregory, which was awesome. I got like a bunch of cool plants, and I'm definitely happy to do that. And I'm about geared up to do some more because going into the fall here, I hope, beyond hope, that we're going to be spending more time in the fish room, making more dedicated videos to stuff like this Poseidon right here, and see what we can't come up with on some stuff. I really do hope going into winter this year that we'll be, you know, hopefully getting started on the makerspace, which I've talked about the makerspace on numerous occasions. I'm sure mostly everybody watching the show right now is probably like, yeah, we've heard it. But the makerspace is hopefully a project that will be a project that will be ongoing, that could happen. It is hopefully basically like a workshop space that will be open to the public sometimes, where we'll be able to do public workshop stuff, and namely be able to do workshop type things where we could aquascape things, have people come we bring in new plants, land them, check them out, see how they go and do all that kind of stuff. Plus when people come to town, we'll actually have a place to be able to, meet up with either famous or not famous people, whatever, where we'd all be able to kind of gather, probably, make some videos or make some live streams or whatever the heck we're going to do, and hopefully bring some more learnings to, the public. For instance, like if Tom Barr was up in town, nobody really has a space that, can really host. I mean, there are some spaces that could host somebody coming, right? If they came to town, they could give a speaking engagement, right? There are some places that could film a speaking engagement. There are some places that have aquariums and stuff like that. Everything is either dedicated. If all the places that have aquariums are either a store, which is problematic for any store to be open if you're going to have somebody there and cameras and all that kind of stuff. So even though Aquarium Co-op is our sponsor, right? Let's say we wanted to shoot an Aquarium Co-op, a video at a store at the Aquarium Co-op. We'd have to go there after closing, which means I'd have to somehow go up there at like 9 o'clock at night, try to get somebody who's in town to go there at 9 o'clock at night, who's already tired from travel and all that kind of stuff. And it just doesn't necessarily work out all that well. Now, that's kind of the big thing for the makerspace, would be have aquariums there that you guys would get to check out online, right? So you guys would be able to watch on YouTube, see what's going on, get regular update videos, what changes are going in. Maybe we're taking out a product, maybe we're putting in a new product, maybe we're trying a new light, maybe we're trying a new fertilizer, maybe we're trying a new filter, all that kind of stuff that is just in sort of a public space. So it's like okay, people can track and see kind of what's going on. One of the things I've wanted to do is put up a 24-hour camera, but I don't want to have a 24-hour camera that's linked to the internet, even though I do run all my stuff through multiple routers and a VPN and all that, namely because I've had a bunch of creeps on the internet, throw threats and stuff like that my way, and whether they're real or not, I don't care. My daughter is here, and I am not going to put her in danger. I'm not going to put my family in danger or any of that kind of stuff, and I personally feel like having a 24-hour camera, live feed, that kind of stuff, it's not a great idea. The Aquarium Co-op has the Murphy Cam, which is a 24-hour camera, which I'm like, that is awesome. It's so cool. And I'm like, it's not that, it wouldn't really necessarily be like stealing someone's idea. Like a 24-hour live stream camera, I think the zoos did that first, when when they were like, is the giraffe going to be born, or are the penguin eggs going to hatch, or what is going on? So it really is, I don't feel like I'm really stealing some ideas. I feel like we need to bring a whole bunch of ideas together. I'm a guy that could build it. If somebody else builds it before me, that's awesome, because I do know that there are a couple of people around the country who want to do kind of a similar thing, and I'm happy to hear about those, and I'm more than happy. I hope that those get encouraged, because the more the better. I think the more that we could share this hobby out there, that is a hobby, that is a pastime, that has multiple avenues of awesomeness to it, which, number one, mental health. This is like gardening. This is taking care of something. This is meditative. This is something that's really important for the health of human beings, to grow things and be involved in stuff like that, right? Also, on the other side of the coin, you're also learning about some of the agriculture and things like that otherwise people probably kind of gloss over about. It's not something that most people want to learn about. If you think about how many people, live in cities, or maybe just never learned how to grow food or anything like that, right? Maybe it's just something you never learned. You just got, you were very specific in the thing that you were studying and whatnot growing up, and it just wasn't something that you wanted to do. But maybe you're a 35-year-old that wants to learn about some of the stuff, like where our food comes from, where what kind of stuff could you grow, and that kind of thing. And this is a perfect experiment of something that you can do 24 hours a day, 365 days out of the year. There is no winter in your aquarium, so you don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Like it really is a problem when our garden right now, so our cilantro has turned to coriander. Most people might not understand what happens, but as the season changes and gets super hot, cilantro stops growing as cilantro. It does what is called bolting. It turns into coriander. It grows tall, and then it grows the coriander seed on it because it's gone to seed. Whereas, for Vicky and I, that's like, no more cilantro. I guess we have to wait. But the cool thing about my aquariums is it's like late springtime all the time. So I get to kind of just get the optimal growing all the time. And if I make a mistake, I don't have to wait until next year to go, I'm going to start my whole planted aquarium over, right? I just get to keep rocking and rolling and growing the stuff that I want to grow. Let's catch up with the chat here. I don't know. I got totally crazy sidebarred there talking about the makerspace. But this Poseidon says, UG Aquatic says he bought it for $100. So that'll give you a bit of an idea. Like the Wendetti eye that I was linking earlier that you guys could check out. Where did my... Oh no, I lost my link, you guys. I got to go back and get my link. Let's see. Okay, I got my link. I'll go back over here. There. And then where's my chat now? I lost my chat. Okay, there it is. So there's my link. So it gives you an idea that this Poseidon right here, he bought it for $100, and that's an emergent grown plant. Going to have to convert it. It's going to have to do some things, which is totally cool. Totally worth it. Rare plant. you guys could go over to Aquarium Co-op right now and buy some Wendetii that will be shipped to your house, $5.99 a pot. Each little pot's $5.99. So just to give you an idea, some of these plants have these really high prices, and the reason for that is because of the rarity, but it is worth it to some people like me, who will probably work out some kind of deal with UG to get some of this at some point in time. Like maybe if he's propagated it and the price comes down a little bit or something. But we'll see. That's kind of the thing that happened with Travis. When I ordered a bunch of plants from Travis, he had gotten to the point where he had propagated them so much that he was like, "Oh, I got a plant package," and he had posted it up on Facebook, and I was like, "Hey, buddy, I'm buying it all." Now, it sounds super arrogant. It was only like $150 for all of the stuff that he wanted. But at the time, I had gotten paid for a job, and I was just like, $150 for some of Travis's plants? I was like, yeah, here you go. And he was like, oh, cool, I'll pack them up and ship them out to you and all that kind of stuff. And I was just like, yeah. So I actually... that's actually where I got my Nurii from Travis, and I think, it was a while ago now. I think it was like probably 9 months ago or something like that. But at the time, I was just like, "Yeah, buddy," because you couldn't find Nurii here. And I think the only person I knew that had some was Bentley, and I don't think he had a ton at the time. So I was like, I better get it while I can. So, sometimes that kind of stuff pops up. I do know Scottish Aquatics has been collecting a bunch of random stuff, and I should be in Everett at some point in time. We got to figure out how to meet up. I'm up there. When I'm up there in Everett, I'm working, and it's a long, long day. So trying to fit it in is kind of rough. So that's why I haven't really been pushing too hard on old Scottish Aquatics to try and get in there. Let's see. Ricardo says Discord is a little confusing, but I'm always on my phone. Yeah. So we had a couple people. Oh, we just had one person join up on the Discord. So we got Willie over there. Thank you, Willie, for showing up on the Discord. Hopefully it's fun. I know it's a little bit confusing because the platform is different, but I think once people kind of figure out like the controls and kind of like where the layout is and stuff like that, it does actually become very, very user friendly, and it's really able to have like a continuous conversation with people. So sort of like how this live chat is playing right now. But let's say that you only wanted to talk about like some DIY project that you were working on for your aquarium. We actually have. It's called Project Corner. I named it Project Corner. I don't know. We might change the name at some point in time. I don't know. We called it Project Corner, so that's where people have been talking about, if they're making their own lights or if they're making their own stands or stuff like that. So there's a thread there, and then you can actually just kind of stay really topical as you kind of bounce around through Discord. So I know it's a little bit confusing and whatnot, but if you join up on the Patreon, you can basically like one click to go to the Discord, and it'll take there and it'll load it up for you, and it'll basically, it'll bring your name over and all that kind of stuff. And you can always change your username. A couple people asked about that, if they could change their username on there, which yes, you can change it. It is enabled, so you can change your username to what you like. Woo! Candy posted the Patreon link and to become a member. Thank you very much, Candy. I appreciate it. And somebody asked me a while ago, they were like, why is the membership thing there? It's basically like two ways to support some of the projects that we have ongoing here. And one of the ways is you can become a member on YouTube. And one of the other ways is that you could go to Patreon. And it basically, to a certain degree, it alienated some people because they're like, oh, it's $1 a month. To become a member, it's like $5 a month on YouTube. The Patreon is set all the way down to $1 a month. But I just think the reality is like, the people that can invest, and like it just kind of boils down to you could just get some reward. Michael Sarr is saying, can you reply to a post on Discord or just mention people? I'm pretty sure you can. I think if you click on someone's post, you can reply to that one specifically. I'm not sure. But either way, there is a direct message. There is a direct message portion on the app or on Discord. So I think if there was any kind of like confusion with what was going on, you could always just direct message somebody and be like, "Hey, I was asking about that Poseidon that you posted," or whatever it was that was going on. Bentley Pascal says, well, I had a bunch, but like 4 species, so a little of a lot. UG says, hi, let me get some plantlets going and I'll throw some your way. Bentley 2, I'm collecting mostly stuff this rare. Ooh, yeah, that's cool. That's definitely one of those things. We need more people like UG Aquatics that are collecting some of that rare stuff that are experienced to deal with it. So one of the reasons I say the Cryptocorini Wendetii is a perfect plant is because that is a plant that is it's like a magical stepping stone to people getting into the hobby, and like maybe they're not having a lot of success, but it is a perfect plant, especially at like only $6. That's not that huge of a it's sort of like, it's not that big of a cost of a point of entry for people to like kind of try a plant and then actually have some success with it, and then can start moving along to getting to the point where there will be more people like UG Aquatics that are happy to get into some of the more rare plants and start propagating those, because that has always been the kind of Achilles heel of the aquarium hobby, whether it comes to with rare corals or, if it's rare corals or rare plants or rare, there's a lot of rare stuff that goes on. And I'm sorry, I need to, I forget how to silence this. There we go. Server mute. I have to mute a different Discord. It keeps popping up all sorts of notifications, so I'm gonna mute that for a while. Anyhow, but for a long time in the hobby, there just wasn't enough people that were like actually culturing, whether it was rare corals or rare plants or rare fish or any of that kind of stuff. And I honestly feel like we have enough people that are kind of actively breeding rare fish or even common fish at this point. A lot of the people that I run into are, they're hanging their egg mops and they're setting up a bunch of tanks and they're breeding betas or they're breeding this or they're breeding that, and they're doing a lot of that with fish, and I see a ton of that going on. One of the weird things that I don't see is I don't see a lot of coral farms that much anymore. Now, honestly, I'm not that deep into the salt water that much anymore. I'm really peripheral, so I might be wrong, but most of the coral stuff that I see these days is people getting in drop shipments, acclimating them, and then shipping them back out, which is fine. I'm not mad at that, but I don't see a lot of coral farming these days. But I'm seeing less and less hobbyists actually, doing things like setting up these trays right here and doing more of that, what's the word I'm looking for there? I lost my train of thought. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Anyhow, I don't see as many people actually doing the rare plants and stuff like that these days. So I would like to see more. I'd like to see more of the sort of small-time people that have like a 20-gallon or maybe like 220 longs set up next to each other, and they're kind of meticulously kind of doing some plants and stuff. I know that like some of the people that I know that were doing it for a long time, like Daniel would have been a perfect example. Daniel was doing that for a really long time. He sort of dropped out just life and that kind of stuff. So I definitely want to see more and more people coming along. Oh. Let's see. Yeah, started easy and cheap, and then working your way into stuff like that. You spend $100 on one plant and it dies, not to mention the loss of such a rarity. Yeah, that's a good point, EG. Like, it's pretty difficult for somebody who's starting out to come in with some kind of $100 plant or even a $20 plant, that kind of stuff. That's why I kind of tell people, I'm like, you don't necessarily want to get into the Bucephalandra. Like, maybe you don't want to get into some of the more expensive stuff. You just want to kind of go with things like that Wendetii that I posted there. It's the Wendetii green. It will color up and do some really cool things and look fantastic. Am I pushing it today? I don't know. It's sort of my topic was that sort of basic plant. And let me run over to this video right here, because as you can see over here is actually, this is the filler plant right here. This is Cryptocoryne Wendetii green. So this is actually just the really easy one. Now here's the tiger, Cryptocoryne tiger spiralis that is right in front, this bright red one that's right here. Now, that could be a depressing plant. You could probably buy one sprig of it for like $20 or something like that, and have it die, and then just be like, oh, man. You know what I mean? And it not necessarily work out the way that you wanted it to work out. And it could be super depressing, whereas my recommendation would be that Cryptocoryne Wendetii is a much hardier plant. It should propagate, and at the very least, if it didn't work out for you, it's only like that at that $5, $6, $7, $8 mark, and it shouldn't be that traumatic at that point that you might need to kind of take a step back, figure out exactly what you're looking for. And like down here is the Crypt Nurii, right? And if that plant was to die off, I'd been super, super sad, because I think each little plantlet of it was like $8.99 or something like that. And I think he had like 6 of them or something. And I just was like, yeah, I want all those. And then he had a couple other cheap plants that I was like, yeah, I need those for sure. This plant right here is normally marketed as the Scarlet Temple. This is the mini variety versus the standard variety. But, it's really not that different. It's just smaller and closer together. But the Scarlet Temple is a good example of something that people could definitely be, doing pretty easily. And it's just probably gonna be a red plant. You know what I mean? It's pretty rare that I've ever seen it like uncolor. It's just red is its natural state. So if it's got light, if it's got roots, if it's got water, it's probably gonna grow, and it's probably gonna be red. Let's see, Skogs, Soggy, Socks, Shrimpery, and more. Mr. Steven Scoglin's always got a craze. He's always changing his YouTube name to something wild, and it's hard to keep track. Tom Patterson says, I've come a long way in 6 months on plants. Congratulations. That is always good to hear. I see Charlie out there. What's up, Charlie? Good to see you. Bentley Pascal says, some of the rarer stuff I have hidden away: Microsorum species spoon, the tricolor and tricolor mini, mini, boost mini, aurora, direct from Karen Randall, plus some other stuff I have hiding. I've got some stuff hiding too, guys. I'm very sneaky. So yeah, I get that. I know that, when it comes to like, content creators or whatever, YouTubers, whatever people want, whatever you want, whatever moniker you like, it's definitely one of those situations where what's the word I'm looking for here? What happened? I lost my brain thought. Oh, what happened? What was I talking about? Let me remember here. Tom came a long way in 6 months. I don't know. I forgot what I was talking about. I don't know. Just trail off and be quiet for a minute. Smooth. So smooth. Lost my train of thought. Oh, well. That's life. I'm reading too many things. I got too many things over here that I'm reading about. What else did I want to talk about today? So I get that Wendetti eye, which is cool. And then we talked about this weekend. This weekend was kind of nice. We went over the mountains. I don't have a ton of questions in the chat. Candy Overhauls has a massive crypt that takes up half of my 75-gallon. That's awesome. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Content creators. There we go. If you want to call them YouTubers, if you want to call them content creators, whatever. We all pretty much have some project stuff hiding, and I certainly do. As I mentioned earlier, I've got a bunch of stuff going on with the 240, and I'm obviously filming it, so you guys will be able to check that out when when I air quote reveal it. I think a lot of people that watch this channel are kind of used to getting to see a lot of the stuff that I do sort of day to day, but that is, it's kind of related to some of the changes that have been going on around here as far as like my production of YouTube. I honestly feel like, I've been putting out a ton of videos. I do live streams, all that kind of stuff. And, people may or may not like the live streams, but, making live streams is sort of my favorite thing to do because of not only because of the engagement with people, but because of the engagement with people. It's pretty much what it is. Like I like to be engaged within the stream of thought to talk about the stuff that's going on. So it's not like a huge, weirdly, in my opinion, a huge like weirdly overproduced thing. People can actually write in and talk about stuff. So I like doing that, but the problem is that YouTube doesn't like that all that much. It doesn't like that we do YouTube, that I do live streams and stuff, and they're really trying to cut back on people doing that stuff. So one of the big things that I've been doing is I've been making a lot of produced content that I'm trying to make up my mind if I'm actually going to. I'm on the fence. I'm way on the fence at this point whether I'm going to release it on this channel or if I'm going to release it on a different channel. I just don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do it here or if I'm going to do it on, because I do have some other channels that are pretty stagnant. Like I don't have anything on them. I've pretty much deleted everything off them and stuff like that. So it's not a matter of like, if I'm going to start another channel because I have another channel, but I'm just trying to figure out if I want to split just like where the content is landing or not. And I don't know. I'm sort of the opinion that like, who cares kind of, you know what I mean? Like I honestly feel like I feel like we're definitely in the, I feel like I'm definitely in the spot of like, I'm at least successful enough to just kind of keep going forward and just not be like all that concerned about whether or not the algorithm likes it or not, because it almost seems like a monumental waste of time to concern myself with those issues. But I also am, I'm also of the opinion that like, I do have to take into consideration if the audience is shrinking and people are not happy, then I definitely have to do something that is at least closer to what people would enjoy to be a part of. So I don't know. I'm on the fence about a bunch of stuff, and I don't know. I'm just kind of in the middle area of like, of saying, a lot. The Fish Tank Barn says, so like a live stream channel and a video channel? Yeah, I don't know. I'm sort of just in the middle of trying to figure out what I should do about the situation, because it is a Monday today, and we only have like 90 people live, which is not like only 90 people live. 90 people live is awesome, by the way. I am super stoked that like 90 people want to tune in and be a part of the show and be a part of some of the stuff that we're doing here. I'm enthusiastic about that. But our normal live stream numbers used to be about 150, 160, 200, so either people are tired of my rigmarole, which could be a possibility. People could be out in the sunshine because it's summertime, or a more likely culprit is the fact that YouTube doesn't send out notifications to anybody, which seems to be the more likely candidate. Possibly. Probably. I don't know. But at some point in time, I am going to be doing some live stream type stuff onto Patreon and maybe Discord. I'm not 100% certain about that, but I think we're definitely gonna integrate some of the live stream stuff to Patreon. And realistically, I personally think that like we have 80 members, right? We have 80 people who hit the member button on YouTube, right? We have, when I checked earlier today to make sure that I would know, we have 280 people on Patreon, which is wild. It's wild to think just in my brain pan that like 360 people are enthusiastic about supporting some of the projects that we're doing and the ability to, make videos and make more episodes and stuff like that, right? That's crazy wild. And I kind of feel like, hey, if it's 360 people, let's just get them all into the Patreon and get them all into the Discord and stuff and just broadcast over there. But I also don't want to limit the possibility of engaging with some new people that may feel the same way that we do, that we like to be able to talk about plants and talk about fish and talk about aquariums and like what's up with this acrylic tank, what's up with this glass tank, what's the positives, what's the negatives. I would say who was it? And I want to give him credit where credit is due. I think it was Vince, but I might be wrong. No, it's Alvin Alejo. Alvin Alejo actually posted. He is working on a new shelf for 2 massive Mars Aqua lights, which is awesome. I had completely forgotten about those lights. So you know what I'm talking about when I say like, oh, maybe there's a different light out there in the world that we all could be trying. But there is a new other one. But Alvin was working on that shelf, which was cool. And I'd forgotten about the Mars Aqua lights because I had some of those at some point in time, and I think I ended up selling them just for because somebody had bought the what's the word? Somebody had bought what am I looking for here? Oh, somebody bought one of my tanks off me, and I gifted them those lights so that they'd be able to have them. That's what it was, because they didn't have the timer like the Fluval lights do. But those Mars Aqua lights, those actually are pretty decent, and I think I would be happy to try some of those again, but only if they get like the timer and the Wi-Fi and stuff. Now there is a different light here. There's the Zeus, a new option for LED lights. From UG Aquatics, he actually posted these. Now, I was looking around. I couldn't find necessarily like a real solid link for them that actually gave me, an opportunity to go like, oh, this is actually price-wise like a better situation than the Fluval lights. But I am interested to contact them and see if I can't just like compare the two, like kind of, give them a little side-by-side action and see what we can come up with. If like, maybe those Mars lights are a little bit better, or maybe they're cheaper or something, but I hope they have the Wi-Fi's. But the Zeus ones I have never had personal experience with, so I would like to try those at some point in time, and maybe I could compete with like all three. Maybe we could somehow try and get some of those Zeus lights. But the reason I bring that up is like I didn't even know about those Zeus lights, that there were new out there, and if I hadn't started the Discord, I probably still wouldn't have known about them. Right? So, as Jim said, Discord is a lot to keep track of. It's very true. I understand. When people are chatting and constantly chatting 24 hours a day and that kind of stuff, it's always kind of a thing. Just stop in when you feel like stopping in. I wouldn't necessarily feel the pressure to constantly be involved in everything that's on there all the time. But when you're in the mood, it's nothing quite like being able to pop in and chat with some people. When I used to run Dark Star Aquatics, that was our old webpage where people were posting and doing all sorts of stuff on there. One of the biggest things that we had was a 24-hour live chat, which people if it's the middle of the night, maybe it's early morning, maybe it's afternoon, maybe it's something like that, and there isn't something, but you just kind of want to just chat with somebody about fish tanks and stuff like that. It definitely is really cool to be able to stop in and be like, hey, has anybody seen these Zeus lights or the whatever? And, or like, oh, I'm trying to do this thing. Has anybody seen this? And they're like, oh yeah, here's a picture of how I fixed that, right? So I think it really is useful, and could be really cool for people. I don't know. And you can always just mute it. You just mute the whole channel, and then it won't send you notifications or anything like that. UG says $380 shipped with everything, Wi-Fi, 3 to 4 days. Okay, that's not bad. I got to try one of those. Out. So I'm going to see if I can contact those guys and find their deal. Oh, okay. Alvin has a workaround for controlling the Mars lights via an app. I'll show it when I get to it. Been using it for years. Yeah, I was trying to do that with the what do you call it? Some of those Wi-Fi like outlet adapters, and it just always was driving me nuts, and I could never really get it to work. It was just, I could never get those outlets, those Wi-Fi outlet adapters. I don't know what's wrong with me. There's some kind of blind space in my brain that I just could not figure out how to get it together to get those to work properly and have them consistently work well. JH Aquatics is here. What's up, my man? I heard those guys are going to Peru and they're not taking either Joseph or Joel. Who's me? He's not taking either of us, and I can't afford it. So maybe I should just come to the Virgin Islands, and then Joseph and I can make videos in the Virgin Islands, try and catch fish. I don't even think I need my passport for that, do I? Because that's the U.S. Virgin Islands. Although I probably should just bring my passport so I can verify who I am, or they'll put me in jail probably. Jim Smith says Discord reminds me of IRC, which probably dates me. It dates me too. So yes, it is kind of it's kind of just one of those things that we're trying to open up the options. We're trying to see kind of like what works, what doesn't work, what goes, what doesn't go, all those kinds of things, and just keep moving along. So we have more options for, not necessarily like more options for communication, but like better options, more open available to the certain people that may or may not want to be involved, or maybe you just kind of want to be a peripheral person. That's fine too. But I also want to be open for the position that, like, people that support the channel one way or another are sort of deserving of a little more attention. It's just kind of how it goes. TJ Snyder tagged me in the chat, and that's kind of a good way to mix it bright orange on my end. It stands out. It says, can you tell me any info about Gymnothorax polyurodon, which is the freshwater moray eel? And boy howdy, I cannot give you very much information about them other than you gotta feed them, and it's a pain. I've never kept one in my house. I've never personally had one. I've never kept one at any kind of store. I've been around them. I've seen them. I got to feed them and stuff like that. But boy, man, I just, I mean, it's really something that, like, man, I wish I kind of knew more information about them, but I've never been a huge eel guy myself. So, yeah, I wish I could just like rattle off a bunch of cool stuff to help you out. But unfortunately, I am not the expert, but we do have a bit of a platform here. So hopefully, or possibly, or maybe, or who knows, somebody will come along that is like, hey, I am a freshwater Papua New Guinea moray eel, right? Expert. So hopefully somebody will pop up and can help you out. You know, I'm sure that the basic, like, I'm sure that the basic stuff would be like the standard crap you hear from people all the time, which is like, you got to have good water conditions, which is always like, what do you mean good? What does that mean? Right? Like, your water's got to be good. You're like, is it supposed to be liquid? Is this water supposed to be liquido? You know, but I'm sure it's good water parameters and temperature and food and all that kind of stuff. I do know that food is a big issue with keeping them healthy. You know, I that really is a thing, because I do recall speaking with a guy at one point in time that mentioned it, and it was like, you just got to make sure that their diet's good. And I know that is a big deal in the saltwater side of it, but yeah, I couldn't really give you anything specific. Ricardo Santiago with a $10 Subers chat. Sometimes we come on down to the river and have a Subers chat. I don't really know what a Subers chat is supposed to be, but super chat, $10. Ricardo Santiago, just because I love the show and the makerspace will come in time. Patience is a virtue. Best wishes. Yeah, I'm just, to be brutally honest with you guys, I'm really in the middle of a ton of big projects. So, you know, I will have some video on the 150 and the 120, kind of battling some stuff in one of the 120s right now. So I'm going to give you guys some updates on the hair algae and kind of replanting and kind of moving around. I got to change some fertilizers and some other stuff. I will be adding, I will be likely adding a new CO2 old CO2 reactor to that 120. I think my biggest problem with the algae in that aquarium is that I'm not getting good CO2 dispersion throughout the tank, because I'm getting really positive benefits where I have the CO2 and it's just not getting saturated into the tank. So I'm going to take that, excuse me. I am going to end up taking out the CO2 injector, inline injector that I have now. It's just not working out. I really kept trying it, cleaning it, putting it back together, turning the CO2 up, turning the CO2 down, messing around with it. And I you know, maybe it would work on somebody's application, but I just can't recommend it. The inline, not good. Build a reactor. That's 100% kind of my deal. And I think if you want to buy a reactor, the best place to go is to Colin, the guy who makes Thrive fertilizer. That's where you want to get your CO2 reactor if you're going to get one. I think he's in Oregon, and so it's American made. It's American made in America. So if you're outside America, it's probably going to be a problem. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know what his shipping deal is, but I think if you're going to get a prefabbed one, that's definitely the one to go to. Or I have some videos up on how to assemble one if you're looking to make one at some point in time. And I've also got some updates coming with this 150 right here. I've been cutting up some driftwood and things that I want to add to this scape. And I'll be honest with you guys, it might be one of those videos where I show you guys a failure, because I'm like, I just cannot get it to just come out correct to the point where I'm like all excited and like it's a go-ahead. It's not a go-ahead. I keep getting to the point where I'm like, oh, this is a terrible chunk of driftwood, a terrible chunk of aquarium naturescape, nature natural aquascaping kind of deal that I put together, and I'm just completely unhappy with it. So at some point in time, I might get there. Let's see. Oh, let's see here. Do 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 do. He's a demon on wheels. Where is Steven? Where's Steven commenting? He's commenting somewhere weird. Oh, here we go. No. Is that where he's commenting? No. I don't know where he's commenting. Oh, he must be, oh, this is where he's commenting. He's commenting on the moderator channel. He's commenting on a different channel. Hold on. This is a different server for the moderators. There. All right, had to fix that. We got Mr. Gillett. He's on the wrong server, you guys. Joel Gillett. He's all the way from New Zealand. He's on the wrong server. He doesn't know what's going on, but we'll get him sorted out. Candy's got it figured out, though. That's too funny. Anyhow, we'll get Mr. Gillett figured out at some point in time. We'll get him sorted. We also had a $2 super chat from Alvin Alejo going, woohoo! Well, thank you very much, you guys. That's the reality of this day and age. We got a $2 super chat and a $10 super chat, and that was more than all the commercials playing on this thing and all that stuff was going to pay out anyhow. So thank you very much, guys. We've done a better job at making money than YouTube would have let us if it wasn't for the super chats. So thanks, guys. The zombie drummer just showed up. He's late to the party. Says, "What's up, kids? It's been a minute." We were talking about the Discord. We were talking about plants earlier. We're talking about all sorts of stuff. We're losing our minds out here. Fishy Mailman here is, did we get an update on the Scootin' Fruity Puffers lately? I have one in this aquarium right here that's back here. One of them, unfortunately, in the 240, did not make it for an unknown reason, unknown to me. All the other fish in that tank are happy, healthy, doing fine. Tons of snails in there, tons of food for them, and I do not know what happened for the life of me. That one passed away that was in the 240. One of them died when a long time ago when I took the bulbitis out and I took that up to Corey. I took it up to Corey's 800 gallon. I took it up to his 800 gallon up there. I took it up to his 800 gallon, and then when I took that giant bulbitis out, one of them was apparently in it. Unbeknownst to me, I did not know, and I bagged it up. And to give you an idea how big that bulbitis was, like I had to put it in a garbage bag. So I was wrangling this giant plant into a garbage bag, and apparently one of the puffers was in there and fell on the ground. And it's unfortunate because I came back, because I took that big garbage can, I went out, I put it in a box and stuck it in the aquarium, or not in the aquarium, in my truck. And then I went off I had to go do something else. And then I came back like 2 hours later because I was like, okay, let me go clean up my mess in the fish room and get that all sorted up before I, go off to bed or whatever, because I was going to get up right early in the morning and drive that up to Corey's, which I did. And then as I went in there, I noticed there's like a little bit of movement on the ground, and one of the puffers was on the ground and was just down there basically suffocating. And I feel terrible. And I thought maybe I could rehydrate him and save him, and it kind of just was just miserable and didn't make it. So, but we have one successful fish here, and I've talked to Preston, who is the guy who bred him. If you guys should be pretty familiar with Preston at this point, he is the Scoot and Fruity Puffer breeder master, which I forget where you can order his fish. There is online. If you look up the Shota Dentai puffers, you can find Preston's fish and order them like professionally shipped and all that kind of stuff online. And get them shipped out to you if you guys want to buy them. I highly recommend him. Preston's awesome. He's a cool dude, and I hope to go to his house soon and visit his fish room and just film. I did learn that I do have a few shortcomings with my filming setup right now after having done that, after having filmed that wedding 2 weekends ago, which reminds me of I have to get back to editing those pictures. I don't know if anybody out there has ever edited wedding pictures, but it's not even easy to edit pictures, period. But then when you have like 2,000 of them, you got to sort through them. It's a nightmare. But I will be getting those out. But I guess the whole point I brought it up is that I'll be sorting through that. And kind of changing my filming and stuff. And I wanted to get that kind of stuff sorted out before I spent money going on another trip like that. When I went down to Oregon, that actually was a lot easier because I just had a bunch of stuff in my truck. It's way easier to drive somewhere in my truck, but it would take a really long time to drive down from Washington to Arizona. Just would take a really, really long time, a lot of gas and all that kind of stuff. So I think it'd be much more economical to just check an extra bag and make sure that I have everything I need and I'm ready to go. And so I'm going to be kind of changing some equipment. I was hoping to sell one of my cameras, which didn't work out. One of my older cameras that I don't get a lot of use out of. So I was trying to sell that so that I could possibly buy a different piece of equipment. But you know how it goes when you have a friend that's like, yeah, I want to totally buy that, bro. And then they don't. And you hold on to it for 4 or 5 months because they keep saying they're going to, and then they back out. And you're like, you're still my friend, but really? You know what I mean? Let's see. Fishy Mailman says, sorry to hear about that. I knew about the one, but not the other one. Yeah, the other one just passed away, and I really don't know why. It didn't seem to have fungal infection or ick or anything like that. It didn't really have anything going on. It just was like, no, I'm done. And boy, howdy, I wish I could have really figured it out, but it didn't have any visible like sickness or any of that kind of stuff. So just unsure. Really what happened. But he says, if anyone wants to get the link for Preston, you can find it on the interview he did with the Aquarius podcast. Yeah, you guys can check that out for sure on the Aquarius podcast. And that's probably a great spot to put it. Okay. Hey, guys, I realize that I have to go to the bathroom quite badly. So I feel like this was a good, fun Monday show. Oops, that's the loading screen. We want to go back to this one. Push the button. Why are we loading? Okay. Why are we zoomed in? Let's zoom in more. Enhance with the zoom. There. All I want to zoom, zoom, and a boom, boom. Just lost our funding. Copyright strike. Anyhow, so I want to say a big thank you to Ricardo Santiago and Alvin Alejo. Thank you very much, my guy. And we don't have any new patronizers from Friday, but, it is what it is. And I want to say thanks to everybody for coming out today. Definitely had a fun little Monday here. Hopefully you learned something. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. Love you guys so much. I will talk to you all on the other side. Don't forget to hit the like button. We got to hit the like button and share and all that kind of stuff. And I'll be talking with y'all later. And I know CJ Black hit the button because that's just how life goes. Later.